Carolyn Finney wants to reshape how we think about the representations of environmentalism and environmental history in the United States. She explains that the dominant environmental narrative in the U.S. is primarily constructed through white Euro-American voices. Black Faces, White Spaces tells a different environmental narrative, how African Americans have interacted with nature. Finney asks, what are the links between representations of the great outdoors and the African American experience in the U.S. in terms of the attitudes, beliefs, and interactions pertaining to the environment? Drawing on a variety of sources, Finney turns to art, film, music, poetry, literature, and popular culture to trace the collective memories and lived experiences of African Americans' relationship with the natural environment. Looking at historical and contemporary moments, including the establishment of the Wilderness Act in 1964 and the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Finney shows the perceived and tangible ways in which nature is informed by race, shaping how we all experience environments around us. Colleen Smith, Give It or Leave It, was a 2018 exhibition at the Institute of Contemporary Art in Philadelphia, curated by Anthony Elms. The exhibition catalog was designed by the Los Angeles-based design studio, Content Object. Smith is an interdisciplinary artist whose work reflects upon the everyday possibilities of the imagination. Through films, objects, and installation, Give It or Leave It navigates 4 distinct universes: Alice Coltrane in her ashram in Santa Monica, California, a 1966 photo shoot by Bill Ray at Simon Rodia's Watts Towers, Noah Purifoy and his desert assemblages, and Rebecca Cox Jackson and her Philadelphia Shaker community. These locations, while not technically utopian societies, embody sites of historical speculation and radical generosity between artist and community. In reimagining a future through this mix, Smith cast a world that is Black, feminist, spiritual, and unabashedly alive. The exhibition's title, Give It or Leave It, is a revision of the threat, Take It or Leave It. Smith proposes a new rule for a better world, creating something, offering it, and gifting it, regardless if the gesture is accepted or rejected. Give it or leave it is a rule for the self, not an ultimatum for the other, born in the spirit of generosity, hospitality, and selflessness. From January 15th through February 12, 1977, over 15,000 artists, writers, scholars, and performers from more than 50 nations worldwide gathered in Lagos, Nigeria for Festac. Formerly titled the Second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, Festac drew on the foundations of Senegal's 1966 World Festival of Negro Arts. Taking place at the height of Nigeria's oil wealth and following decades of decolonization movements across the African continent, Festac was an immersive expression of Pan-Africanism, freedom, and creativity. Brooklyn-based artist Marilyn Nance served as the official photographer for the U.S. contingent of the North American delegation to Festac. She made more than 1,500 photographs over the course of the festival. Last Day in Lagos presents an in-depth encounter with Nance's Festac archive, one of the most comprehensive photographic records of the festival. The book is edited by Oluremi Onabanjo and published by Fourth Wall Books in Johannesburg and Center for Art Research and Alliances in New York. Last Day in Lagos chronicles the exuberant intensity and social significance of this extraordinary festival and the care involved in the maintenance of photographic archives. Between 1915 and 1970, in the wake of racial terror during the post-Reconstruction period, 6 million Black Americans left their homes for other areas within the South and to other parts of the U.S. This remarkable movement of people, known as the Great Migration, caused a radical shift in the demographic and socio-political makeup of the U.S. and transformed the cultural landscape. A movement in every direction, Legacies of the Great Migration, co-curated by Jessica Bell Brown and Ryan Dennis, brings together 12 contemporary artists to consider the complex impact of this period on their lives, as well as on the social and cultural life with newly commissioned works. 2 books, designed by the studio Polymode, accompany the exhibition. All too often, Brown and Dennis write, the exploratory process of researching and organizing an exhibition and producing a catalog are hidden behind a veil. In these 2 books, they aim to reimagine the possibilities around the access to archival materials. Currently on view at the Brooklyn Museum until June 25, 2023, the exhibition will then travel on a national tour to other regions of the U.S. that became destinations during the Great Migration. The presentation of the exhibition in Brooklyn is organized by Kimberly Gant with Indira Abiskarun. A movement in every direction departs from traditional accounts of the Great Migration, which are often understood through a lens of trauma, and instead reconceptualizes this phenomenon through the stories of self-possession, self-determination, and self-reflection. 1 Corrective, 2 Narration, 3 Compilation, 4 Narration, 5 Narration, 6 Narration, 7 Narration, 8 Narration, 9 Narration, 10 Narration, 11 Narration, 12 Narration, 13 Narration, 14 Narration, 15 Narration, 16 Narration, 17 Narration, 18 Narration, 19 Narration, 20 Narration, 21 Narration, 22 Narration, 23 Narration, 24 Narration, 25 Narration, 26 Narration, 27 Narration, 28 Narration, 29 Narration, 30 Narration, 31 Narration, 32 Narration, 33 Narration, 34 Narration, 35 Narration, 36 Narration, 37 Narration, 38 Narration, 39 Narration, 40 Narration, 41 Narration, 42 Narration, 43 Narration, 44 Narration, 45 Narration, 46 Narration, 47 Narration, 48 Narration, 49 Narration, 50 Narration, 51 Nar On the evening of November 28, 1973, the world's social elite, men in dashing tuxedos and women dripping with diamonds, gathered in the majestic opera house at the Palace of Versailles. So begins Robin Gavon's lively and meticulously researched account of the extravagant international fashion show dubbed by the press as the Battle of Versailles. Originally conceived by fashion publicist Eleanor Lambert as a fundraiser to help restore the run-down historic landmark, 5 American designers presented their work alongside 5 French designers considered to be the top of the industry. But the stars of the evening were the 10 black models who brought the American designers' clothes to life as they strutted, twirled, and danced to contemporary music. Billy Blair, Bethan Hardison, Pat Cleveland, Amina Warsuma, Charlene Dash, Ramona Saunders, Norma Jean Darden, Barbara Jackson, Alba Chen, and Jennifer Bryce. Tracing the economic and social changes that reshaped the fashion industry, Gavon recounts the infighting, eccentric personalities, shoestring budgets, and numerous technical issues leading up to the show. She presents the story of how American style and sportswear challenged the prestige and tradition of French couture that defined the industry. As Gavon writes in the epilogue, Versailles did not change the dominant standard of beauty, but it proved that veering away from the accepted and expected can produce winning results. Tony Tipton Martin's Jubilee, Recipes from 2 Centuries of African American Cooking, is a gift for the senses. Adapted from historical texts and rare cookbooks, Jubilee presents in loving detail the history, richness, and variety of Black American cooking traditions, a cuisine that goes far beyond the narrow label of soul food. Through more than 100 recipes gathered from Tipton Martin's archive of Black cookbooks, she combines and remixes historical recipes for today's kitchens, always paying homage to her many sources. In each recipe, paired with photographs by Jarrell Guy, Tipton Martin traces the lessons, techniques, and stories of a variety of individuals from enslaved chefs to middle-class writers and entrepreneurs who have shaped the dish over time. From citrus honey tea punch, buttermilk biscuits, and black-eyed peas and rice, to baked ham glazed with champagne, seafood gumbo, pecan pie with bourbon, and pineapple upside-down cake. These recipes are expressions of ingenuity, creativity, and hospitality.